Hello everyone, today we are on a road to Naivasha in Kenya. The landscape is beautiful, I don't want to lie. Rolling hills, fresh air and that countryside feeling. But this isn't just a getaway trip. I was visiting the KARLO Dairy Research Center to explore something much bigger. Careers in animal science, livestock production, and breeding and genetics. As most of you know me, you know that I am from an agriculture-related field. I studied animal science, and then for my master's, I did animal breeding and genetics, and currently I'm doing my PhD in animal breeding and genetics. And before we get deep into the things that I want to discuss with you, we passed through the Rift Valley, the Great Rift Valley. Guys, can you see the landscape? It was so breathtaking. It was amazing. I really enjoyed. But before I also get carried away with, me exploring and everything else, today we want to talk about careers in agriculture. I know that there are a lot of myths about people who study agriculture, how they are going to end up in farms. But today I bring you something different. So let's get into it. You see all of these people in this video, they are coming from all parts of Africa, and what is uniting us is the animal breeding and genetics in the African continent. But before I get to that one, let me talk about exactly why I came here. So as we were on our way to Naivasha, I was just thinking how many people just think that, animal science is limited to just farm work. But before we get into that, a girl had to shop. I was looking for things that I could bring for my boy and my husband. So now I was negotiating. These people didn't know that I come from Zimbabwe and I can negotiate. So I ended up negotiating and I got some nice pieces from those people. And this really warmed my heart because, when I go to different countries and do some shopping, especially from vendors around the road area, it just shows me how these people are just trying to show up every day and fend for their families or earn a living. But anyways, that's not the gist of the story. Let's get back to why you are watching this vlog. As we arrived at the research center, I couldn't help but think about how much science, technology, and expertise goes into livestock production. And I know that many people think it's just farming, but it's actually a combination of biology, genetics, data science, animal health, nutrition, and management. So let's start with careers in livestock production. So production is the backbone of the animal industry. In production systems, you will find roles like nutritionists. Those people design feed rations to optimize growth, milk yield, fertility, and health. You will also find feed formulation specialists. Those people know how to balance the nutrients scientifically for performance and cost efficiency. You will also find farm managers. These people oversee like the daily operations, staff animal welfare, and productivity as well. And then we have those people who are in general farm teams. These are hands-on professionals ensuring that the animals are properly cared for. So as you can see, we are just talking about livestock production, but there are already 4 or more careers within the livestock production that I've just talked about. So production isn't just feeding animals, it's about efficiency, sustainability, and maximizing the output while maintaining animal welfare. Back to my trip. This is exactly what we saw at this farm that we were at. So we started with the nutrition section where they, it's just a research, area where they show farmers how they can be farming their own feed, like own grasses for cattle and all of that. So as we are going through the video, you will see that I'll be showing you the different parts that I've already explained as I started. Now let's move on into careers in breeding and genetic improvement. And this is a topic that is close to my heart because that's the field I am in. But here is where it really gets exciting. Breeding and genetics. So genetic improvement determines the future of livestock performance, and careers in this space include quantitative geneticists, and most of those people analyze performance data to select the best animals for breeding. And then we also have molecular geneticists. These people are the ones that work with the DNA markers and genomic tools, and we also have biostatisticians and bioinformaticians. They handle large data sets to predict breeding values. And within that, we have people who are dealing with reproductive topics like reproductive physiologists and embryologists. These are experts in fertility, embryo transfer, and reproductive technologies. Let me pause a bit. You have heard about AI, artificial insemination, not the artificial intelligence that you are thinking about. These are the people that work in this field. And as you can see, each and every profession that I have mentioned so far doesn't work on its own, because if there is no fertility, then we don't get so many animals where we can collect data and the biostatistician or the bioinformatics person can work in. And you see that if there is no data that can be analyzed to select the best animals, then that means we are not able to also give work to the people that are going to be doing molecular genetics, because these people would like to say, okay, you have done the statistics, maybe let's genotype these animals and use genomic tools to validate what we have seen. So this is an intertwined career opportunity, and each career doesn't work on its own. But back to my things that I was saying, every high producing animal or dairy cow, fast growing broiler, or disease resistant animal is the result of years of genetic selection. That means geneticists would have worked so hard until they can say, okay, we are producing a resistant animal or we are producing a fast growing broiler. And at research centers like the one we visited, breeding programs rely heavily on performance recording, data analysis, artificial insemination programs, genomic selection, just as I have said before. And this is where science meets long-term strategy. We moved on to our second location, but as you can see, I only mentioned 2 parts of careers in agriculture or animal science, and already we have 8 professions or something that are coming out of it. But let's move on to the third one. Animal health and laboratory careers. So animal health is another huge pillar of animal science. Careers include veterinarians, microbiologists, laboratory technicians, people in disease surveillance specialists, and these people ensure the biosecurity, diagnosis of diseases, and protect herd productivity or flock productivity. Without strong health programs, even the best genetics and nutrition programs would fail. So you can see that there is a lot that your child can explore when they are doing this animal science career. Now, there are also hidden careers in animal science. And one thing that stood out during this visit is how diverse these career paths are. As you can see, we moved from the offices to the farms, and in different farms, there are different sections, and they also had laboratories, which I didn't show you. one thing that is for sure is that you are guaranteed that if your child goes into animal science, there are a lot of careers that they can pursue. They don't necessarily need to be fixated in just working in farms. Now, here is the part I also love so much. There are hidden careers in animal science. As you can see, as we moved around the farm, there were, diverse career paths that we could see. And you know what? Beyond farm and lab roles, they are IT specialists managing farm data systems. So your child doesn't necessarily have to be confined to just doing the farm work, cleaning the animals and all of that. But they can study IT and also, become an IT specialist managing farm data systems. And what is much more nicer is if you get someone who is knowledgeable in IT at the same time who understand how farm systems work, that's a plus. That's a good thing for a farm to work very well. And then we also have people who are software developers. There are a lot of softwares that are involved in managing the farms, in building breeding databases, etc. So if your child is really good in that, they can also pursue some software, courses that will allow them to integrate nicely in farm animal environments. And then we have people who are just good at technical support. They are called technical support specialists. These people work with the farmers, work with them, advising them on different, areas or on different capacities. And then, farming or agriculture or animal science isn't, an isolated field. You will need people who are into logistics and supply chain. These managers will actually help you to, work on the logistics of getting feed to the farms or getting your product out of the farms or getting your product out of the factories and so forth. And we also have people who are sales and extension professionals. After we finish farming the animals, we need to make sure that these, products that we are going to make out of them are marketed well outside there. And then we have people who are in human resource and operation managers. These people help you manage the day-to-day, staff, requirements that are needed. So as you can see, you cannot be limited to just being a farm worker. You can actually pursue different roles after you've been doing, animal science. This subject is very important because as we walked through the facilities in Naivasha, it became clear to me that livestock production is not just agriculture, it's science, innovation, sustainability, and food security. And careers in animal science contribute to food security in Africa and globally. They contribute to sustainable protein production. They also contribute to climate smart agriculture, genetic progress, and productivity gains. And to students interested in this field, and you're wondering, is animal science worth pursuing? Here is the truth. You can specialize in animal breeding and genetics. You can specialize in nutrition, reproduction, health and pathology, data science in agriculture, farm systems management. And the industry needs skilled professionals more than ever. So don't limit yourself. As we concluded our day here in Naivasha, I was reminded that behind every glass of milk or a plate of meat is an entire network of scientists, managers, technicians, and farmers working together. And this visit wasn't just about seeing cows. I have been to many farms since I started this career in animal science, but it was about seeing opportunity. And if you enjoyed this educational travel vlog, like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments which career path in animal science interests you the most. See you in the next one. Bye.